Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey guys, today we are catching up with two of our favorite musicians that we've been taking their musical journey with them for the last few years. Always a pleasure to welcome the guys from In Theory, Mr. Mike Mostert and Mr. Tony Covino. What's going on, guys?
Well, thanks for having us on the show. How you doing, Ralph?
Doing good. Always a pleasure having you boys stopping by, and always interested in how the journey's going.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going great, man. We appreciate you finding time to get us on there and chat about some stuff coming up. So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the big news recently was some Grammy consideration for one of your tunes. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, definitely exciting news. Me and Mike, it was a big accomplishment just to be in the running. Just to get to be, just to get to that level to be in the running is a process in itself. And then once we were under consideration, as they say, out of the first wave of 20,000 artists, we came in at number 69, which we were really excited about. And we'll be back. We didn't get chosen this time, but we're definitely we'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment in and of itself.
Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. That had to be a pretty exciting time period for you guys. And
it was a pretty big deal. I mean, obviously this for the obvious, but the fact that the industry was speaking, right, for us to be in the top, whatever, 69, 70 bands in that category. That means now the industry is recognizing us, as a viable band. So I think, what I'm saying? So besides just the obvious of being nominated for a Grammy or being up for consideration, the fact the industry people were voting, because, there was 20,000 people they could have voted for.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on that, you guys. And that was for the song Down, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So we'll add that at the end of our chat here today. And I guess we can introduce it as Grammy nominated single from In Theory, Down, which is awesome. That's awesome. So what else has been happening with you boys?
Mike, you could talk more too. We have some shows coming up. Take it away, Mike.
Yeah, so we have shows starting February of next year. So we're also back on the road with our good friends Angel again. So I think we have a West Coast run, a Northeast run, and we're trying to finalize a Midwest run with them. So that should be all finalized shortly. And then we also have some shows outside of that as well. So back on the road, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, it's, and it's been a good team as far as like Angel and us. And, I mean, they were also, my musical heroes and Tony. And, now we've become really good friends with them. And I've become very good friends with Punky. And, Punky and I are working on music together. And Tony's going to sing on that. And so I think the shows will be even bigger because of the responses we got when we did the shows this past year with them. It was so strong. I mean, it wasn't just and I know what we were doing is, as you know, being an unknown hard rock band in these days and winning over a crowd that's never heard your music. That's a challenge. And we were able to win, not only just win them over, people like, oh, that's cool. I mean, we were able to win them over where they were just so enthusiastic to get your picture, to get your autograph, to buy a CD, just anything just to be a part of what we were doing. That really surprised me with them not knowing our songs. So we know when we go out this time with them, we'll even have a bigger crowd that will be an In Theory crowd just as much as there will be an Angel crowd.
Right. That's great that their audience was receptive to what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean the enthusiasm was insane. Like I said, it wasn't just where people are polite and they're like, "Yeah, you guys sounded good." I mean, they wanted to hug you. They wanted your autograph. I mean, they wanted the selfies. It was just, and it was funny because some of them were like foaming at the mouth. They were just like, they were just so excited just to talk to us. And I think it took Tony and I a little bit to get used to it, like maybe a couple of shows, and then we're like, okay, this seems normal now.
Right.
Like it's almost like, really, you like our stuff that much in a way. I mean, you always hope people will, and then but like I said, but then was the consistency of that type of response. I'm like, okay, we're doing something right.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's good. It's good to know that people still recognize good songwriting and good playing, and are open to it. Because a lot of times you wonder, are people open to stuff they haven't heard before? I struggle with that sometimes with the music show that I do. I think, boy, if I would pigeonhole myself more and just do classic rock more, maybe more people would listen, but that's not the purpose for what I do, so I don't do that. But I always wonder how many people are receptive to brand new stuff that's never been heard before. Guys like us, I think we find that exciting. I know I still get really excited every time I hear something I've never heard before. But I don't know the rock population at large, how many feel that way. So the fact that you guys are getting that kind of response, I think is not only validation for what you're creating, but also makes me feel good that there's still a lot of hardcore music fans that appreciate music for music when it's good.
Yeah, I mean, and we had, if you call it fans or following us from almost like from state to state, coming, they would see us in Illinois, and then same person or group of people, you see them in Wisconsin, then you see them in Michigan. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And you said that's you're firing up again in February for that?
No, February we start. I got endorsed by Gibson this past year, so we're going to be doing a show at the Gibson Garage. So if you ever make it to Nashville, it's a really cool place. It's like
a great place.
It's like like a Willy Wonka's place for guitars. So they put on live shows, with their artists, and maybe there'll be a couple of hundred in the audience, but there'll be an outreach live to maybe 7 million people. So I'm not sure how many of the 7 million people will be listening at that time, but I always break it down to like 10% of the 7 million are watching the live stream. Oh, we have an audience of 700,000 people watching it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So we can't mess up, because it's all live.
Yeah,
so
but
that means no pressure on Tony. Like, don't mess up your vocals.
Try my best.
And don't forget the words, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's always a challenge, remembering words.
Singers always impress me. I mean, some, obviously have their lyrics on a device or whatever, but all those of you that don't do that, it always impresses me when I think about how many songs just got performed and you got to remember all these words. Even though you may have been the guy that wrote them, still, I could see in a live setting where, little brain freeze. What did I put next? What was my next line? And
because it's like, it's the last thing. And it's funny too, because like you can rehearse these songs 1,000 times. And then it might just be a moment in the show where you're just like, you just blank out. Like, because something caught your eye or somebody did something on stage or whatever it might be. And then you're just like, and the part's coming up and you're just like, totally like, I don't know what I'm singing. And it's so stupid, but it happens, it happens.
Well, that's where, mumbling and slurring a little bit come into play, right?
Yeah. I could write lyrics on the spot. So I'll put something in there. It'll sound cool.
Yeah. I love that. No, that Gibson Garage thing should be cool. I've seen a couple of, not while they were live though. I think I saw them recorded later, and that was always look cool. I've been by there, but I've never been in there. So I think that'll be a pretty cool event for you guys.
Yeah, it's cool. And like if you're a guitar fan, like they'll let you play any guitar in the place, and whether it's Epiphone or Gibson, and they have the amps there, and they have the pedals. It's cool. I mean, you can hang out all day and just try every single guitar, and it's a lot of fun if you love guitar.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, and congratulations. I don't think I've talked to you in person since you got that endorsement. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, that was a big deal for me. It was that's the one I wanted. Because I've been approached by several different companies, and I just felt like they are such a historic legacy brand, and like that's the one you want.
Right.
And they have a strong marketing team, and they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes to promote their artists. So, I don't know, it's just, best way I can say, I'm just really blown away that I did get it, and but you see like all the artists that are doing it, right, from like Peter Frampton to Joe Walsh to Bonham Moss. I mean, all these like historic legendary guys, and then here comes Mike, so.
Well, Mike knows how to play that thing, so they made a good choice.
I can bend a couple of notes.
Yeah, just a little.
Right.
Just a little.
When I'm having a good day, I'll bend like 3 notes.
Well, I think you do a little bit better than that, my friend.
I appreciate it, Ralph.
All right, so we've got that coming up. The Angel date's coming up. What else is on the docket for you guys?
Another thing that's on the docket. What was that?
Any more recording coming up?
Always. It never stops. Well, Tony knows how I am. I mean, I'm always in. I'm always jumping in the studio, and if there is nothing coming, I just have a need to be creative and write. But one of the things that we're doing that we've been putting out like little teasers, but we're doing a collaboration with Tommy Henriksen, and so Tommy is the musical director and guitar player with Alice Cooper and with the Hollywood Vampires.
And now Crossbone Scully.
Yeah, I saw Crossbone last night. That's why I'm out here.
Oh, were you there? Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to be there, but I couldn't come down.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go see him tonight, and I'll be with Tommy and the gang later tonight. I think after midnight, I'll be with them after the show.
Well, you tell him that I'm really digging the Crossbone Scully stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, it's definitely Mutt Lange influence, that's for sure.
Yep.
So Tommy and I and Tony have been working on this now since September, and it's we're really happy how it's coming out. It's almost like what you expect it to be. It's what if you say I almost call it like if you took old Aerosmith and then you Mutt Langed it out. That's what other new music is sounding like right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the next thing, and and like I said, we're always in the studio, and always there's still a bunch of songs that Tony still has to jump in on, where we have the core of the songs done, and and then while he's doing that, then I start working on more stuff, and because I always feel like there's never enough material. Just keep writing and keep writing.
Good, because we're always wanting to hear more from you guys.
Appreciate that. Yeah, and then also, we try to encourage people to come onto our website, help support the band, by buying, we have the Promised Land CD that just came out. And we got merch on there and stuff like that. So, if anybody wants to come and check us out on there, we have a lot of pictures from the tour that we recently did. We got a lot of merch. We got a lot, you can actually listen to all the songs we have for free. You just can't download them, but you can listen to them in the full.
Actually, let me just correct Tony. I mean, you can actually download it on our site. So it's sort of like I'm not a Spotify, iTunes fan where you get 3% of 1 penny, for
if you're lucky.
Right, or if you're lucky, right? So what we did on our site if they happen like one song or two songs, they can actually download it, but the band sees the full revenue of it. So instead of getting just 3% of one penny, we're getting the full revenue. So they can pick out any song and download it, and they would have their own download, or they can buy each CD individually as well. And of course the merch. So I feel like it gives somebody, the option, because somebody may not want to buy the album, but they love these two songs, so they could buy it and they'll support the band.
Excellent. And guys, the website is not just intheory.com, it's intheoryoriginal.com.
Right.
That's where you want to go. So make sure you get to the right place.
Yeah, and definitely. And if people can leave notes in there, like if they want anything signed or whatever, we'll hook you up.
Yeah, it's like I said the other day, I signed body parts, so just putting it out there. Anybody wants their body parts signed, I'm there.
I don't know if we want to put that out there since we're talking about going to the website to order stuff. I don't know that we want people sending in body parts.
Actually, don't send your body parts in. It's got to be attached to your body. Yeah.
That's right. Save the body parts for a live show.
Yeah. Well, I'll sign female only. I don't know,
So we'll schedule like the meet and greets where they can schedule it on the website and then come to the show and we'll sign the body parts.
I love that. Yeah, and also you can follow In Theory on social media too, because you guys do a pretty good job keeping up to date on that too. So, and again, that's In Theory Original, I think, is the handle for social media too, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
You can follow the band. You can follow Mike's page, my page. It's all circle. It all goes back to In Theory. So. You can follow any one of those three and you're good.
Good. All right. So anything else that we should know while we're catching up on the life of In Theory?
No, not right now. I say, Mike, Mike's in LA right now, right? Mike, you're checking
coming to us live from the basement.
I'm live at the Nightbird Studios right
now. Checking out Crossbone's debut shows, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I could have attended that.
Well, me and Mike are from Long Island, and so is Tommy. So it's kind of cool. You got that Long Island, New York thing going. So there's always that little bond, So,
sure.
We're happy for him. He's doing great.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of history with Tommy. I mean, I've known Tommy since I was like 16 years old, so, and I had a band, back then in New York, the drinking age was 18.
Right.
And you were able to play a club at 16. You were able to get your driver's license at 16. So while I was still like 10th grade, I was gigging out. So I remember I had a residency with Tommy, and it was near like Stony Brook, and I think I must have played with him 40 times, 50 times at least. And then through the years, we would just reconnect. And then I think in '97, we wrote a bunch of songs together. And then I was a GM for Sam Ash, and that was another odd thing. He would just come all the time and bring these high-profile promoters and managers, and because even at that time where I sort of had turned my back on music a little bit, he just kept bringing people. And Mike, you got to play guitar. Play with this one. Play with that one. Play with this one. And so I met a lot of people through him at that time. So, and then here we are, 15, 20 years later, and we got reconnected. And the first thing is like, okay, let's collaborate. And so. Yeah, it's been a nice, interesting journey. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. And then I also went to college with him, which is a whole other thing. So,
wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, that you're still on friendly terms and all that after many years. I always like that when friendships last a long time.
Yeah, it was good. His band was really good. So, but I didn't realize how small they played at the Viper Room, and how small. I couldn't recall it was bigger, but they had them in the upstairs stage, and maybe there was like 100 it holds only 100 people. I mean, it was packed, but 100 people. So I don't know, it was just like hot and muggy. And so if you can imagine, hot and muggy. And the other thing that was odd, they're limited on their lights. So you're making fun of the red light, but the Viper, all the lights were red for the most part. And they were using, and I think they had a guy who probably used the Hazer machine probably for the first time. So even though I was really like initially 10 feet from the stage, you really couldn't see him from 10 feet away.
Right.
I'm not even kidding. You could not physically see him. All you saw is fog and silhouettes of everybody.
They kept it running, like through the whole.
They just kept it running. I don't think it was on purpose. And then the light, like I said, the lighting is red. So, and that's the least flattering light for anything, honestly, for pictures, for live. And it was so strange. Like I said, I was 10, maybe 15 feet at the most, and I couldn't see him.
Wow. I do remember, I haven't been there in a long time, but I do remember it being kind of dark and not a lot of stage lighting. I don't remember all the red, and I don't remember a lot of fog, but maybe there was. I just don't recall. But I do remember it being kind of dark because I was thinking, for taking pictures, this is a terrible, terrible thing, even, no matter what camera you have.
Right. So but it was cool. I mean, they sounded good. So I think tonight's show will be, I think it'll be a little bit better. And from what I understand, I think Johnny Depp is supposed to be there tonight as well, and a few other big people. And so after Tommy does a set, someone else will do a set, and there's like a little all-star jam. And then after that, I'm supposed to meet with Tommy, I think around midnight or so.
Good. And you'll be part of that all-star jam, I hope.
Maybe. But I'll be part of the thing that's going on at midnight. So.
Gotcha. Well,
and that's right up the block. So, what was that?
I said I'll try to think of you while I'm sleeping at night.
Okay. So so we'll catch up. Me and Tom will catch up once we go there around midnight. So, and I'm already dragging ass. So I'm like, okay, midnight sounds so far away from me right now. I think the time changes have been getting to me. So I went directly from being at my parents for 2 weeks, which we discussed, and then flying out. So I do think it's a combination of jet lag and accumulation of sleep deprivation. So I think it's just catching up to me while I'm here.
Right. And just a mental thing too for all of us that live places where we do this daylight savings thing. This season always is rough when you have to move the clock back and it starts getting dark so early. I think it plays a trick on your mind. Like, what? Feel like it's midnight already, and it's 6 o'clock because it's already been dark for 2 hours, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's the way it is here in New York. It's like 4:30, 4:45. It's dark out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like and you think it's like 8, 9 o'clock, and it's like it's only 5 o'clock. It's like crazy.
Right. Yeah, I hate it. I always say once we do the spring forward thing, I wish we would just stay there all year round. I understand in the morning it'll be a little dark for kids going to the bus stop, but their parents should be taking them over to make sure they're safe anyway. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal, I think. Yeah, 'cause it's rough. For years, I would, in the winter in Chicago, it was awful because you'd have to leave for work so early that it was dark when you left, and then you worked late enough that it was dark when you're coming home, so you never really experienced daylight other than what you could maybe see through a window,
Right.
Yeah.
I hate it. But anyway. All right. Well, good. Well, I'm glad, Mike, that you're getting out and rocking with the Crossbone Scully Boys. I think the album's really cool. And I'm glad so many good things keep happening for In Theory. You guys have been pounding away and it's been paying off. And I'm really happy for that. Glad everybody's recognizing the quality that you guys bring to music. So that's terrific. I hope that your West Coast run happens so I can come see it because I still haven't gotten to see Tony in the flesh.
Well, I think, you're in Sacramento, right? So I know right now the closest will be to you is in Fresno. So I'm not sure how far
Take it.
Sacramento is to Fresno.
Probably depending on where you're at, probably hour-ish ride from
Right.
where I'm at. So I would,
But that's already confirmed. So I know we're doing
or Reno,
Vegas.
Nevada is okay too. I'd head over there too.
What was that?
I said, or Reno, Nevada works too. That's about the same amount of time,
Right.
opposite direction for
Yeah.
me.
Well, I know we're doing Vegas, West Hollywood, and then Fresno, and then I think we're trying to add 2 more shows. So I know we'll see how it goes. But it's funny. Even last night, I ran into a club owner, a new club owner, because he had told me that the Viper Room is going to be closing in what 3 or 4 months.
I had heard that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, they're going to be
so-
closing. I met with the owner last night, and but anyway, so a friend of mine about a mile away from the Viper is they already did a couple of test runs, but they made the biggest. It's going to be like the biggest stage on Sunset Boulevard. So
something new.
yeah, it's something new. It's a brand new club, and but they're ready to start booking. I think they're already booked already for the next 2 months, 3 months. And when I told him I was coming out, he's like, "Well, you should play my place too." So we may work it out where we do 3 shows with Angel, and we do the 4th show where we headline at their place, or headline at that place first, and then do the 3 shows with Angel, and then add 1 more show, whether it's Phoenix or San Diego.
Got it. Good. All right, guys. And we mentioned the website, interiororiginal.com. And since we're talking live dates, you guys keeping that up to date there? If people go to the website and look on tour, your dates are being updated.
Right. You'll see it on social media a lot.
Okay, good.
In fact, I put in rotation in our stories. So at least like once a week, we're announcing all the shows that we're doing. And if there's any new shows, we just add it.
Good. And I'm going to minimize my In Theory website. All right. Well, then I guess it's time to crank up down so people can once again hear the greatness that comes out of you two guys, along with your other bandmates. And yeah, I'm so glad you guys keep checking in with us at Radio Bypass. I love sharing this journey with you guys. It makes me happy for you guys.
Oh, and also I want to say, so like on Down, I know sometimes we keep forgetting to say it, but on that particular song, we also have Perry Richardson from Stripers, the bass player, on Down.
Nice. And I knew that, and I don't think I've mentioned that either. So
and also another thing too, if people buy Promised Land, the CD, you have Perry from Striper, and you have Vinny Appice from Dio and Black Sabbath, which is kind of cool as well. The anti each other, right? One's God and one's Black Sabbath. The devil and God. But it's kind of cool to have 2 of our heroes and friends on the In Theory record. Yeah,
awesome players for sure.
Yeah, and I think that'll be another thing that attracts people to In Theory, because the music speaks for itself, and but Tony and I thought it was important to bring in different flavors, and also that we felt that would complement a song. So Vinny plays a certain way, and there were a couple of songs we were like, yeah, he'd be perfect for that. And Perry, he's another one. How I think what he does is it's simple, but it's not simple. So, and I think so basically he's using a 5-string bass, but it's tuned to E flat on our song. So it's kind of, if you know how frequencies work and sound, it's moving at a slower pace. It gives it a different sonic quality.
Sure.
If you were just using a 4-string bass and playing a song. And the other thing that I know, so Perry did, is he plays with, when people playing down, like dun, 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 he actually plays up. He's going up on top of having a 5-string bass tuned to E flat, while we're tuned to the key of A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's something I bet you a lot of people wouldn't notice if he's down or up.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. but you would notice these things, of course.
I do. I mean, it was like I said, it was very strange. I'm like, you tuned to E flat, and we even tried tuning them regular pitch, and it's weird. It didn't sound right, so we had to we spent the whole day doing that, but it worked out E flat and a 5-string bass, because even his low B is now an A. So like I said, it just changes it sonically.
Sure. Yeah, the feel too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right, everybody. InTheoryOriginal.com. Go check that out. Follow these guys on social media. Sounds like we'll be able to catch you in 2025 live, just about wherever you're at in this country. So looking forward to that. And Tony and Mike, always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, Ralph. I know I reached out to you and you got back to me right away, and I just want to appreciate you. You've been in our corner for a while now, so we want to say thanks.
Hard to believe. I think it's been about 4 years already. Like, the time's just flying by. I still think In Theory, new band. And
Has it been, right? I fly.
When I was looking at or setting up this with you, I was like, man, I think we've been talking since 2020 already. I'm like, how did so much time fly by already? It just, clock just keeps spinning faster and faster.
It goes by too quick. Yeah,
it sure does. But it's been so much fun, though. Like I said, I'm so glad you guys keep me informed on what's going on, and we get to keep sharing this. I feel like over the years, someday I'll put all our different interviews and chats together, and we'll have like our documentary. Here's the history of In Theory. It's really cool for me too, especially being a fan of the music, but also you guys as humans too. So it's been nice having you guys keeping me informed.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks. It'd be great to see you at one of our shows.
I hope so, buddy. I hope so. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, I think you're gonna come to Fresno.
Well, Fresno for sure. And if LA lasts long enough, if there's enough days, I can head down there, because I do scoot down there when I can for different shows, because it's not that far from here, but yet it's also far all at the same time. So it all depends on the day. And sometimes weeknights are a little tough for me to coordinate going down, but if I can, I will.
All right,
everybody.
Sounds good. Be awesome, man.
In Theory, Grammy Considered, I guess would be the right phraseology. So the Grammy Considered song, Big Deal, out of 20,000, making it to 69. Check this out from our friends in Theory. This is Down.
Can you hear me? Use me, heal me. I don't know who to love. Censor me, hurt me. Well, I'm the one you took me to hell. Down, I'm down. Big money, that's how the game is played. Seems like the truth's gone. Big brother took my freedom away. I've been blind behind the shadow, cards are dealt for me now. zone.